In Chicago, we meet Wesley Gibson, a white-collar office worker who's completely fed up with his miserable life. His job is soul-crushing, his boss is a nightmare who stuffs her face like a pig, and everyone else just pretends she isn't the devil in heels because it's her birthday. Wesley's at his breaking point, especially with his girlfriend, who's cheating on him with his so-called best friend, Star-Lord. He thinks back to how his father walked out when he was just 7 days old, leaving him to wonder what kind of man he was. That's when we actually meet his father, a man who goes by the name Mr. X. He shows up at a building to meet a woman about tracing a bullet. She's stunned to see him, but he calmly tells her that if he wanted her dead, she would already be gone. As she inspects the bullet, she's suddenly killed by a sniper from across the street. Mr. X bolts down the hallway, then suddenly taps into a strange ability, moving at superhuman speed. He launches himself across to another building mid-air, mowing down gunmen on the roof while even managing to bend a bullet. Just as it seems he's got the upper hand, he gets a call from an ex-assassin named Cross. Cross smugly tells him he's exactly where he wants him, right before a long-distance bullet rips through Mr. X's skull. Back with Wesley, life isn't any better. His girlfriend nags about the trains rattling their apartment while he just wants her to shut up. At work, his monster of a boss Janice lays into him again, sending his anxiety through the roof. He downs his pills trying to keep himself together. Later, at the drugstore, Wesley notices a man staring at him. Before he can react, a mysterious woman steps up, Fox. She tells him that she knew his father, who was the greatest assassin alive, and that the man behind him is the one who killed him. Fox whips out a gun and starts firing at Cross. Wesley freaks out as bullets fly. Fox curves a shot around the corner, blasting mirrors in the store to block Cross view. Wesley barely escapes being killed, sprinting down the street with Cross on his heels, until Fox swoops in with her car. Wesley panics, begging to be dropped off so he can run to the cops, but Fox floors it, engaging in a full-on high-speed shootout. She casually trades fire without even looking, climbs onto the hood, and unleashes on their pursuers, giving Wesley a front-row seat to insanity. Cross nails their tire with a curved bullet, but Fox pushes through, even flipping the car over a police blockade, landing perfectly on a bus to make their escape. Wesley wakes up in an unknown building, surrounded by strangers. Fox is there along with their leader, Mr. Sloan. Sloan immediately tests him, ordering Wesley to shoot the wings off some flies. Thinking the guy's insane, Wesley hesitates until a gun is pressed against his head. His anxiety spikes and suddenly he taps into the same ability as his father. Time slows, his reflexes sharpen, and he pulls it off, blowing the wings clean off. Sloan explains that Wesley's panic attacks aren't anxiety at all. They're his body reacting to heightened senses and speed. When Wesley points a gun at Sloan, calling him crazy, Sloan shoots back that crazy is having a killer's bloodline and wasting it at a desk job. Sloan reveals this group is the Fraternity of Assassins, and his father was their best killer. Wesley doesn't buy it and bolts. The next morning he wakes thinking it was all a dream, until he sees the gun. On a whim, he checks his bank account and nearly falls over when he sees $3 million. Suddenly his old life looks very disposable. Back at work, Janice starts running her mouth again, but this time Wesley snaps. He lets her have it in front of everyone, the entire office frozen in shock. Then he takes his keyboard and smacks his cheating best friend right in the face before walking out like a boss. Outside, he spots wanted posters for him and Fox right before Fox pulls up. This time, Wesley jumps in without hesitation, ready for whatever's next. She takes him to the fraternity's base, hidden inside what looks like an old textile mill. Wesley thinks it's just a cover, but Sloan explains it's the real deal. When Wesley sarcastically asks if they're killers or fashion designers, Sloan just asks if he's ready. Wesley agrees, so Fox drags him to see the repairman, who immediately starts beating him down, fixing his weaknesses with pain. Next, he's sent to the butcher, who tells him knives are the best killing tools. Wesley's handed a blade and told to attack, but he's instantly disarmed and stabbed in the hand. He wakes up later covered in a strange white goo that speeds up healing, skipping days of recovery and hours. Fox then takes him to the gunsmith for firearms training. Wesley is horrified to realize the targets are actual corpses, but the gunsmith tells him he needs to get used to shooting people, not paper. When it comes time to curve bullets, Wesley scoffs, until Sloan casually demonstrates it right in front of him. Fox escalates his training, shoving him onto a speeding train for a field test. Wesley nearly dies, only to wake up back in the recovery room, patched up again. The fraternity later brings in the body of one of their own. Cross had hunted him down. Sloan tells the group that only Wesley has the chance to get close enough to kill Cross, but he still needs training. Next, Wesley is tasked with catching a shuttle moving at high speed through the weaving machines. Fox tells him to slow time, but he just can't do it, eventually storming off in frustration. Sloane warns him he still isn't ready, so Fox beats the hell out of him, demanding to know why he's really here. When he finally admits he doesn't know who he really is, she stops, satisfied with his answer. Sloane takes Wesley to his father's old room and explains that his dad was his partner until Cross betrayed the fraternity and killed him. If Wesley wants answers, he needs to learn more about the man who walked out on him and in turn learn about himself. With that revelation, Wesley finally finds his drive. He embraces his training, determined to step into his father's shoes and hunt down Cross once and for all. For the first time in his life, he feels alive, and he's ready to become the killer he was born to be. After brutal training sessions, Wesley finally toughens up enough to beat the Butcher, catch the speeding shuttle in the loom, and even sprint across train rooftops alongside Fox. But there's still one last skill he struggles with: curving his bullets. No matter how hard he tries, he can't quite pull it off. That's when Fox stands at the far end of the firing range, putting herself right in his line of fire, and tells him to hit the target anyway. For the first time, Wesley steadies himself, focuses, and curves the bullet around Fox to strike the bullseye. Sloane beams with pride. Wesley has officially proven himself and is welcomed into the fraternity. To show him their deepest secret, Sloane takes him to see a massive woven cloth. Sloane explains that the cloth itself contains coded messages, hidden names woven into the threads, that reveal who their next targets are. When Wesley asks where the names come from, Sloane brushes it off, handing him his first real assignment. Fox briefs him. The target will be inside a building as they ride on top of a moving train. Wesley must take the shot from above. When the moment comes, Wesley spots the man through the window but hesitates, unable to pull the trigger. Later, he questions if they're doing the right thing, killing people with no explanation. Fox responds with a story. Years ago, a fraternity assassin failed to kill a man. That man went on to murder an entire family. It's why they obey the code without question. Convinced, Wesley takes his next shot without flinching, killing the target instantly. He grows more confident and efficient, racking up kills while waiting for his real goal, Cross. During one mission, he and Fox chase down a limo carrying his target. The vehicle's bulletproof glass shields the man inside, but with Fox's help, Wesley flips their car right over the limo, shooting the target clean through the sunroof before speeding away. Later, Wesley storms back to his apartment, where he finds Barry still hooking up with his girlfriend. He kicks the door down, storms inside, and retrieves his father's old gun. His ex tries to cut him down, yelling that he's still not a real man, until Fox strolls in and plants a deep kiss on Wesley in front of everyone. Even Barry admits that was pretty badass. Just when Wesley starts to feel untouchable, Cross suddenly ambushes him, firing shots before vanishing. Wesley chases after him, unloading bullets, but his senses betray him. He misfires and accidentally kills the repairman. Then Cross curves a bullet that slams into Wesley's shoulder. Wesley wakes up in the recovery room, bleeding but alive. He digs the bullet out and realizes it's traceable, something Cross never does. He takes it to Sloane, who traces it back to Eastern Moravia, the birthplace of the fraternity. Wesley insists he's ready for revenge, and Sloane hands him the order with Cross's name on it. But after Wesley leaves, Sloane quietly gives Fox a different order, one with Wesley's name written on it. Wesley arrives in Moravia and tracks down the man who forged Cross's bullet. The guy bolts and Wesley chases him only to get caught at gunpoint. Fox suddenly appears and saves him. They force the man to set up a meeting with Cross, who lures them to a train platform. But it's a trap. Wesley senses Cross on the train and boards alone, while Fox is cut off. Inside the train, Wesley and Cross finally clash. They unleash a storm of bullets, their shots colliding midair. Fox crashes a car into the train to get on board, but the impact destabilizes everything. The train derails, skidding off the tracks and hanging over a massive gorge. As chaos erupts, Wesley nearly falls to his death, only for Cross to save him at the last second. But Wesley doesn't trust him. He shoots Cross and the train crashes into the ravine wedged between cliffs. With Cross mortally wounded, Wesley moves in for the kill. That's when Cross drops the truth. Everything Wesley's been told is a lie. Cross is his real father. Wesley is his son. Before he can explain more, he dies. Shocked, Wesley turns to Fox, who confirms the story. Then she shoots out the glass floor beneath him, sending Wesley plummeting into the river below with his father's body. He wakes up later inside a strange recovery bath in an apartment across from his old one. The bullet maker from Moravia explains everything. Cross abandoned the fraternity when Sloane became corrupt, but he never stopped watching over Wesley. Photos of Wesley as a child cover the walls. Cross had been protecting him his entire life. The man also reveals that Sloane has been rigging the system, weaving his own names into the cloth for money and power. Cross discovered this years ago and left, which is why Sloane had him hunted. When Wesley deciphers the cloth himself, he finds that Sloane's own name came up long ago. Fueled with guilt and fury, Wesley suits up in his father's jacket and discovers a hidden armory stocked with weapons and gadgets. Meanwhile, Fox returns to the fraternity, reporting that Wesley is dead. But Wesley is far from done. Using his father's blueprints, he rigs dozens of rats with explosives and crashes a garbage truck straight through the fraternity's gates. The rats scatter through the compound, and moments later, a series of massive explosions tear the place apart. Wesley storms in, guns blazing, moving with deadly precision and mowing down assassins left and right. Inside, he faces the butcher one last time. The man launches a vicious knife assault, even slicing bullets out of the air, but Wesley outmaneuvers him, killing him in brutal fashion. Afterwards, Wesley calls out for Sloane, only to be surrounded by the surviving assassins, including Fox. He exposes Sloane's corruption, revealing the cloth with Sloane's name on it. Fox demands an answer and Sloane admits it's true, but argues he saved them all. He reveals that each of their names came up on the code long ago, but he let them live. Now they must decide, kill Wesley and stand by him or honor the code and take their own lives. The assassins turn their guns on Wesley, but Fox makes the choice. She curves a single bullet through the entire circle, killing everyone in the room, including herself. Wesley rushes off to finish it, but Sloane has already fled. Weeks later, we see Sloane stalking someone who looks like Wesley in an office. He raises his gun, only to realize too late it's a decoy. At that exact moment, a bullet fired from miles away slams into his skull. Wesley has taken the shot, the same way his father once did. And just like that, Sloane is dead and Wesley has claimed his true legacy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of the exciting content coming your way. Every new video is made with you in mind, and I'd love to have you here for the journey. See you in the next one.